Hey, you will. Okay, thanks, Jeremy.
Okay, I'll do the rest of it.
Yeah, just point at me. All right, is it working? Okay, don't press it.
No, I don't think it is. Only because I suck at it.
Is it working?
Well, so do I, but...
Well, here we go. Don't do nothing.
All right.
There we go. All right, we're time. All right, suddenly, the ping pong balls all start bouncing through the room. Thousands and thousands of ping pong balls bouncing and bouncing. And then, thousands of human heads are bouncing through the room. Bouncing and bouncing human heads, bouncing everywhere. And then, right here through the exit, comes 3 million Chicagoans. Except, instead of having human faces, they all have big, giant testicles on top of their shoulders. And all of the giant testicles, the 3 million of them, walking through on arms and legs, each one of them is reciting the poetry in their heads, the psychosis in their heads, the jazz, the heavens, the hells inside their heads. And then the roof disappears. We look up, and there in heaven is all the angels having a giant heavenly orgy. And then the floor disappears. And we look down there, and there's another orgy. And so we all decide, do we want to join the orgy of the heavens or the orgy of hells? And then heaven and hell, they start to mix together like something scrambled in a scrambling kind of machine. And heaven and hell is mixing around us, the orgies of heaven and hell. And suddenly, all four walls are surrounded by Marilyn Monroe pictures by, what's his name? I forget. Andy Warhol. In the Marilyn Monroe pictures, they're all singing. First they start to sing, "Happy birthday, Mr. President." But then, all the Marilyn Monroe clones, those pictures all along the wall, Marilyn Monroe, they all start to sing, "Lick my balls, lick my balls, lick my balls, Mr. President." And then, John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, dressed as transvestites, are dancing and dancing to the Marilyn Monroe picture, singing, "Lick my balls, lick my balls." And speaking of working class poets, a Teamster gets right on this table right here, and you know the Kennedys hated the Teamsters, and the Teamster pulls out his dick and urinates season's greetings all over John F. Kennedy. And John fucking Kennedy. And then suddenly the poet gets a giant erection, and he starts to ejaculate season's greetings and poetry all over the heavens and the skies and the universe. The poet ejaculates 200 billion galaxies all over the universe. And on each planet, in all of the 250 galaxies, is a poet writing a poem. And the poems are in all of the different languages of all of the space aliens on all of the planets. And the poetry of all of these different space aliens, which is in all of these different languages and in all of these different letters, are all going around and around and around the wall. And then suddenly, the walls are going this way and that way, and the ceiling is going this way and that way, like a ship, like a commercial fishing boat in Alaska. I worked on commercial fishing boats in Alaska, but anyway, the walls are going like this and going like that and going like this other thing. And it was all of the words jumping up and down and flying everywhere. And then, on the screen, a giant orgy in Congress of all of the elephants and donkeys in Congress, all showing their oral skills all to the corporate lobbyists. And then, what happens next? Then the speaker starts to scream with the screams of all the victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Vietnam, wars which, by the way, were made by the Democrats, but the Republicans are just rotten, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of blah, 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 suddenly mouths are floating in the air around us, and all of them mouths are reciting different poems in Portuguese, in Espanol, y de repente, edificios grandes y flores está creciendo alrededor y alrededor a nosotros. Y de repente, todos los ángeles allá en el cielo están cantando con poesías en idiomas diferentes. And then, all of the angels and all of the devils in heaven, they're making love and pictures of lovemaking of angels and devils all throughout all the walls are being painted by Picasso, a transvestite Picasso. And I've always loved Picasso. I'm fucking Picasso up the ass, a transvestite Picasso up the ass, as I'm reciting all of the poetry. And then the poem suddenly has a great big bang, and the universe is created. Thank you to our host, thank you to our bartender, thank you to all the poets that came up before us today. I'm done. Bye-bye.
Hey.
I like you. There you go. Thanks, man. Thank you, everybody.